Hi, I'm Sandra from Urban Hijab. Welcome to Latin Soul Halal Cuisine. Today I'm going to show how I make breadcrumbs. Often with sourdough bread rolls, there are leftover ends. These remnants have lost their freshness. Despite being stale, they still have several uses. One of them is to turn these dried, unused servings into breadcrumbs. Before getting started, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Now let's get started. Here are bread pieces that were in the refrigerator. Of course, holding on to so many of these bits means a bunch of them grew mold. For example, these you don't want. It's better to toss the spoiled ones out. First, cut the dried bread pieces into smaller chunks so they can easily fit into the mouth of the food processor. I'm using a food processor to make the breadcrumbs. If you don't have one, then use a box grater, for example. However, the food processor is much faster and, in my opinion, safer. Clean up as you go along. Continue cutting all the pieces. Now, with the dry bread pieces cut down to smaller sizes, set up the food processor using the cheese grater attachment. Then, several at a time, add the stale bread chunks into the mouth of the machine. Insert the plunger and hit the power button. Grind the dried ends into breadcrumbs. Repeat the process with the remaining chunks of bread. When finished grating, there may be some chunks of bread which didn't grind. Save these pieces for later because they are useful, for example, when stuffing a roasted chicken. Pour the breadcrumbs into a container. As you can see, this batch still has some large chunks. Here is a method to separate them. Shake the dish and slap it on the side a few times. This action sends the larger breadcrumb pieces to the top. It's now time to add your favorite spices. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of salt, ground black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, dried parsley flakes, and lastly, paprika powder. Gently mix everything. I hope you like this recipe and enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment. And if you haven't done so already, click like and hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to share with your friends. Spread love, peace, and cheer, inshallah.